When the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to your favorite program, Let's Talk. Of course, with your favorite host, Malik, and of course, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. I hope you guys are enjoying our new decor and our new set. I know I am. I'm sitting in these new comfortable chairs. I got rid of those old flashcards, and I even got this high-tech new equipment, you guys. So it's an all-new look, Let's Talk, and I certainly hope you enjoy it. So, back by popular demand is a very, very special guest. We had him, you've seen him on as the host of The Forgotten Sunnah. You have seen him on Let's Talk before. We did 4 episodes of a series titled A Trip with the Pilot on the Ground, and we received so much positive feedback and emails from viewers all around the world that due to popular demand that he is back. He's a very special character. Why? Because not only has he been involved in dawah for over 3 decades, but he has actually had the opportunity to work as an airplane pilot for Saudi Arabian Airlines. So what's the big deal? Why is that special? Because these two things hand in hand created a unique dawah experience. He's traveled to every continent, I believe, in the world and knows people and given dawah in all of these places. Most importantly, he's also the founder of the Islamic Education Foundation, which is based in Jeddah. Now, if you're a new Muslim or you know a new Muslim, especially if he's living in the KSA, you certainly want to let him know about this foundation so he can benefit from it and learn from it and benefit from the resources they have to offer. So definitely keep that Islamic Education Foundation. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Sheikh Hamoud Ash-Shamemri, and I mispronounced your name, Sheikh. I apologize. It's not my fault. It's my Arabic teacher's fault, Muhammad Adil.
No, you managed. No problem. Got it this time.
Thank you, Sheikh Hamoud, for coming back with us. And like I said, we received so many emails. People are really happy about that series we did. And I will read those emails, inshallah, at the end of the show because I want you to hear them as well.
Sure.
So it was a lot of fun. And as you know, we have our studio audience. All right, we have a bunch of new faces this time around, and we're very happy to host you guys as well. So if you guys don't mind, don't be shy. Tell us your name, where you're from, where you're living now, and what you're doing, if you're a student or if you work. So go ahead, brother, in the front.
Assalamu alaikum to everybody.
Alaikum salam.
My name is Hussam Eddin Alam. I'm a student at the Faculty of Sharia and Law English at Al-Azhar University,
MashaAllah.
the first year. And I'm the founder and currently the Secretary General of the Islam Ambassadors Association within the Student Union. It's an association. Its main mission is to help the people of the world get a better understanding of what Islam really is.
MashaAllah, what kind of activities do you do?
Actually, we do a variety of activities, but it's all that channels into helping people around the world and our fellow human beings to get a better understanding of what Islam is and to reflect the right and the bright image of Islam.
Inshallah, and I hope when you graduate, inshallah, we have you as a guest on Let's Talk, inshallah. Okay, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sulaiman Abubakar Musa. I'm a medical student of Kharkiv National Medical University, Ukraine. I'm presently in Egypt to learn Arabic. I've been to 2 universities, Cairo University and presently Azhar University.
Excellent.
Just to learn Arabic and Quran. And inshallah, when I'm done, I'll return back to Ukraine.
To Ukraine?
Yes, I study medicine.
Okay.
Kharkiv National Medical University.
Okay, it's very interesting and good luck with that. And I believe this is your first time on Let's Talk?
Yes.
I wish we had like a special gift for you, but just suffice to say we're very happy to have you. We hope to have you again, inshallah.
I'm pretty happy to.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Muhammad Garba from Nigeria.
Okay.
I'm a student at Al-Azhar University Faculty of Languages and Translation.
Okay.
Department of Islamic Studies in English. I'm now in year 3.
Okay, and when you graduate, we'll have you as a host as well, Akhi. What is your native language? Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba?
Yeah, I'm Fulani.
You speak Fulani? Yeah, Gidda.
I speak Yoruba.
I speak a little Hausa. Yeah, Gidda. Thank you, brother.
Life, yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. And the brother in the back, what is your name? Where are you from, Akhi?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh.
My name is Adam. I'm from Nigeria. I study at Al-Azhar University, the Faculty of Languages and Translation, Department of Islamic Studies in English.
Excellent. So and you came all the way from Nigeria just to be on Let's Talk? MashaAllah.
Yeah, inshallah. I wish to be a color to Islam, inshallah.
Thank you. We would like to have you back soon in the future as well, inshallah. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, brother.
My name is Ismail Amin Tarawali.
Okay, excellent.
I'm from Sierra Leone.
Oh, excellent, okay.
I study at the Azhar University, Department of Languages and Translation, English Department.
Okay.
I'm in year 3.
Okay.
Inshallah, I'll be graduating next year.
That's from Bo? Are you from Bo?
No, I'm from McKinney.
MashaAllah,
I'm from
mashallah.
South
Same
Sierra
goes all the
Leone.
places.
So
Yeah.
I wish to become a caller to Islam, and as you know, Sierra Leone is one of the countries that are actually in need of Islamic scholars.
Mashallah,
so that's
very
what I
good.
really want to do in the future.
Excellent. So you must know Muhammad Garba if you guys are both in year 3.
Yes, 3 of us.
Okay, so mashallah, very good. Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you too.
Excellent.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, brother.
My name is Ayman. I was born in North Carolina in America, and
You also from Nigeria?
no,
Oh, North Carolina. I'm sorry, I misheard you,
North
brother.
Carolina. I'm currently a student at Ain Shams University for the faculty of Elsun, what we call in Arabic or languages,
Okay, excellent.
and Arabic department.
Bismillah,
Exactly.
mashallah, that's good. Excellent. Thank you for coming. We hope to see you again.
No problem.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. Sheikh Hamoud, we hear this word dawah a lot. Let's give these people dawah, or he needs dawah, or I'm giving dawah, or I'm a da'i. Let's define dawah. What does this mean?
جزاك الله خير. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه. First of all, I would like to praise and thank Allah for this opportunity He gave me to be with you here, and also thank the Huda TV channel for hosting me.
Thank you. It's our
Jazakumullah
pleasure
khair.
and honor.
It's my honor to be here, really. Okay, dawah in Arabic, it means two meanings.
Okay.
When I invite you to have lunch at home or for wedding, we call this dawah because we, send cards, like anybody. This
Right.
card, when I send it to my friends or my brothers or my neighbors to attend my party or to attend my lunch, we call it dawah.
Okay.
When I invite you, that means I'm inviting you. The other meaning da'wah is the religious, meaning. Da'wah, calling people, inviting people, propagating, this is another also meaning.
To Islam.
So exactly, it is actually the very simple meaning of da'wah is inviting.
Okay.
Either for your, personal things, or your, what you call, like I said, calling him for
Personal
wedding,
life.
calling him personal things, or inviting him actually, to be Muslim, to call to Islam. Also, da'wah doesn't only just mean to call non-Muslim. Da'wah, I say can da'wah to Muslim. Because, there are some Muslim who are Muslim by name. So
Okay.
when I make da'wah for him, when I call him or invite him, and I teach him, actually I'm also making da'wah for him.
Right,
You know.
okay.
But there's another word which you call taw'iyah.
Which means?
Taw'iyah means, enlightenment.
Okay.
They are Muslim, but they need more education about the religion.
Okay.
So if I'm doing this to the Muslim, I call it taw'iyah.
It's a better term than to use
Yeah,
in dawah.
different from da'wah.
More specific, we can say.
No.
But generally, when people say dawah, they're talking about religious invitation.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So this begs the question then, should we be giving dawah? Certainly, if Allah wanted everybody to be Muslim, they would be Muslim. Why should I or you or any of the brothers and sisters audience give anybody dawah? I've heard people say this. I know it sounds funny, but I have heard people say that. Well, he's not Muslim, Allah will guide him. I can't guide him.
That's a good question anyway. Well, when you send me a message, now let me use the latest technology. Let's about the mobile.
Yeah, okay.
If you send me SMS and there's nothing on it, what benefit I get?
Right.
Nothing. So, okay. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen certain people, which He called them messengers.
Right.
And He revealed books for them. So to convey the message or to invite people, you need, media. So
Right.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have chosen, starting from Noah
Right.
until, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as messenger. And He revealed books for them. And the last book, as we know, the last one is the Quran.
Right.
So that's why, you need somebody in the middle, to invite and explain to them, And of course, even with those, media, with the messenger and, the people in between, still only Allah can guide.
Right.
You remember the story of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with his uncle, Abu Talib,
Right.
when he was dying, Abu Talib, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he tried his best to convince his uncle to be Muslim. He said, "Oh, my uncle, say one word, then I will be, defending you at the front of Allah. One word, just la ilaha illallah." Then Allah have revealed to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam this verse, "إنك لا تهدي من أحببت وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ يَهْدِي. You, it is not up to you, Muhammad, to guide people.
Right.
Only Allah guides people.
Right.
So he tried his best, until he died, and he said, no, I'm not going to be Muslim. I will be, in the religion of my,
Right.
my tribe.
Well, having said that, then, is it our responsibility as a Muslim to give dawah to non-Muslims, to invite non-Muslims?
Of course.
Because now we said, Allah said, you do not guide, I guide.
That's right. Well, yes, still, guidance to the, the right path or the straight path is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Okay.
But doesn't mean that we don't do our obligation.
Okay.
So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you go to Surah Al-Imran, verse 104, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم, Allah said, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ المفلحون. A nation among you must rise
Right.
to call for good and to forbid evil. And those who does this, they are the successful. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in many verses, He said also in the same chapter, Al-Imran, chapter 3, also verse 110, Allah says, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتِ النَّاسِ. You were the best nation was, among the people.
Right.
Why? Because تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. That's why you are the best nation, because you are commanding good, forbidding evils, and believing in Allah. So yes, we must, do this. Allah, because commanding us. Also, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ballighu anni walau ayah." He said, "Convey in my behalf even one verse."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even one. So we supposed, to convey the. And there is another thing. We the Muslim, in the same also chapter, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in verse 19, in Al Imran also, إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ. The religion to Allah is Islam. In the same chapter also, verse 85, Allah said, وَمَنْ يَبْتَغِي غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَنْ يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Whoever take a religion other than Islam, it will not be accepted from him, and in the hereafter he will be among the losers. So we Muslims, since we know this fact, that Islam is the only religion accepted by Allah,
Right.
it is our obligation to convey the message, to call people to Islam. But it is not our responsibility to they accept or not.
Okay.
Even prophet, even messenger, there's not a responsibility to force the people, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in the Quran, لا إكراه في الدين.
Okay.
No compulsion religion. So our responsibility to convey the message for them, and it's up to them to take it or leave it.
So Sheikh, you're saying our responsibility is give them the message. What they do with
Convey
it,
the message.
Convey the message. What
Yes.
they do with it, you're not responsible.
No.
Okay, excellent.
Even prophet and messenger.
Okay.
Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, in Surah Al-Ghashiyah, لَسْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِمُسَيْطِرٍ. You have no control on them.
Right.
It is
okay.
up to us.
Yeah. I believe the Prophet Noah, peace be with him, he preached for hundreds of years and nobody really accepted his dawah, but it doesn't matter. He gave the message.
Yeah.
He fulfilled his responsibility.
In the day of judgment, you will find messenger and prophet came with nobody with him.
Yeah.
And you find other than him. So it is not our obligation, or
Yeah.
it's not our responsibility to be able to respond. But our obligation as Muslim, we must. And I want to seize the chance now, really, to say to the audience and take to our viewers, da'wah is not the responsibility of only the mashayikh, the scholar. Every single Muslim must make da'wah. If you have a neighbor living next to you, and you never called him Islam, in the day of judgment he will judge you. He will judge you at the front of Allah, and he said, "Oh Allah, this man knew that I am not Muslim, I know nothing about Islam, and he never explained to me Islam." Because I am trying to, Islam is not new religion.
Right.
Islam is the religion of Allah since day one. So Noah was Muslim, Abraham was Muslim, Moses was Muslim, Jesus was Muslim, Muhammad was Muslim. All Prophet and Messenger mentioned in the Quran Muslim. Because what is Islam?
Right.
Islam is to believe in the oneness of Allah and to have the full submission to the will of Allah. And this is exactly what all Prophets and Messengers, they were doing this.
Right.
Calling people to believe in the oneness of Allah.
Yeah, excellent point. And I think the studio audience is interesting because we have one brother, I believe, from the United States. Brother Hossein Madin is from Egypt, which has Christians also. The brother in the back from Sierra Leone. And of course, Muhammad, Adam, and Suleiman from Nigeria. So you guys are all coming from countries that have a mixed religious minority. So have you guys had the opportunity to talk to your neighbors and stuff about Islam? Or, for example, Muhammad God, but have you ever had an opportunity to give da'wah in Nigeria? Have you with your Christian neighbors or anything like that?
Yes, alhamdulillah, I was trying my ability to do so before I left the country, but I think that this one is not enough for me, because they want to become a da'i, that is the one who is going to be calling people,
Right.
he needs to possess a kind of knowledge.
Right.
So that is this among the reason why that I came to Egypt, in order to
Aywa,
study, to know
aywa.
more, to have more
Okay.
knowledge about Islam, so as to be able to
Give dawah in your country.
to give the true message of Islam.
May Allah reward you for that. But Sheikh, did you catch that? He said he went from all the way to Egypt to seek knowledge, to return to his country.
That's the way.
In order to give dawah. That's the way, exactly.
Yeah.
This begs the question also, we have to go to a short break. When we come back, I want to ask you, what if someone like myself doesn't possess Islamic knowledge? How can he give dawah? But don't answer that. We have to go to a short break.
Sure.
We'll be right back, you guys, with more with Sheikh Hamoud. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned to Let's Talk on Huda TV.
Europe's forgotten heritage.
This is a sad reminder of the past history of the Muslims in the city. Nowadays, there are no Muslims anymore. These are the mosques that have remained. And it is really sad.
Wait a second, this is Morocco. No, this is Tunisia, Algeria, North Africa, Egypt. No, this is all Europe, and this is all part of Spain. Islam spread first in Africa, and then from Africa it came over to Europe, and then it did developing work in Europe. Now, we look the other way around nowadays. The compass was invented by the Muslims. Many important inventions came from the time of the Muslims on the Iberian Peninsula. Instead of people becoming less in battles, as we normally know, as we know in battles obviously people die, but no, what was happening? The Spaniards recognized and realized the superiority of the Muslims and the treatment that the Muslims gave to the Christians and the Jews in Spain at that time, that they happily accepted Islam, many of them.
And not over the fountain, as we've seen it before in other places in Greece. Now, it has some Arabic on top, as well as it has some Arabic down, where the tap used to be, or where the water was coming out.
Pack your bags, grab your passports, and join Dr. Steph Keris as he takes us through Europe and rediscovers Europe's forgotten heritage, only on Huda TV.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Let's Talk. I'm glad you're still with us. I'm still joined by Sheikh Hamoud from the Islamic Education Foundation. And before the break, our brother Muhammad Garba, all the way from Nigeria, had said he traveled to outside of his country to seek knowledge in order to return to Nigeria, in order to give dawah to the people there. And I asked Sheikh before the break, and I want to continue in this regard now, what if someone like myself who doesn't have Islamic knowledge, is it my responsibility and obligation to give dawah? And how can I give dawah if I don't have the necessary information?
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Alhamdulillah. There's a difference between going da'wah and teaching.
Okay.
So you're not supposed to teach if you don't have knowledge.
Perfect.
But you must give da'wah at least with words, with pamphlets, with literatures, with tape, with CDs.
Okay.
All what you have to do, even if you have knowledge, at least participate in da'wah, by giving some literature. You can go to Islamic centers and ask them to give you some literature, some pamphlets, some tapes, some CDs, and you can give it to your neighbor, give it to your colleagues who are working with you, non-Muslim. That's you making da'wah. So that's why Rasulullah said, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. And I want to just explain, to our audience and also to our viewers, what the Rasulullah means by one ayah. It doesn't mean ayah of the Quran.
Okay.
No, it does mean of the Quran, but it's not only this. You see, the sun is ayah.
Yeah.
The moon is ayah.
Yeah.
The skies is ayat. The earth is ayah. The rain is ayah.
Yeah.
The wind is ayah. All this is ayat.
We could say proof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could use one of these ayat. Let's say, I'll give you an example, when Rasulullah said, بَلَّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً, you could explain to the non-Muslim only just about the sun. We are in the studio. You see how many lights we have just for the studio?
Yeah, right.
If you want to, if you have a stadium, okay, how many lights?
So many.
How many lights you need? How many generators you need just to make the stadium very bright, so the players, they can play clear.
Right.
But look at the sun.
Yeah.
This is one of the ayat of Rasulullah. This is one of the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Right.
So when Rasulullah ayah doesn't mean only it have to be Quran.
Okay.
But you could use this, this sun, ayah, and explain when this sun comes every day from east to west, and look, the light all over the world,
Right.
You see day and night, night is ayah, day is ayah. This is what I mean. So you don't need really to be knowledgeable just to convey the message.
Right.
But there is difference between calling and teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So surely that's an excellent point. You don't have to be well versed in Islamic sciences. You can give a simple proof like the existence of the sun, the earth. You can use the information.
Of Allah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you can use the information you have to share it with people
Yes.
in a positive way, as long as it's you have.
But let me also add something. Do not really have debate with non-Muslim if you don't have knowledge.
If you're not qualified, because this becomes.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Why not? Why not?
Well, because they may throw something on you and you don't answer. Then you cannot answer it. They may give you some misconception.
Right.
So I advise all my brothers who really don't have knowledge, never put yourself in a critical position.
Right. And I don't even think debates are really that productive, really.
Sorry?
I don't think debates are that productive because they become argumentative and not beneficial. I guess it depends on the scenario and the people involved, but.
Well, yes or no. I don't advise any brother who make debate really to reach the point of criticizing other people.
Right.
So how do you expect the person to respect you, understand you, and listen to you if you are criticizing his own religion?
Yeah, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, never. Just don't even approach his religion. Present what you have.
Okay.
Present your religion. Let him hear something he never heard before.
Yeah, right.
That's the main important thing.
Yeah.
Let him hear something he never heard about, the oneness of Allah.
Yeah.
Especially, the Christian, they believe in Trinity.
Yeah, of course. This is a huge new thing for them.
Yeah. Let them hear, the good things about Islam.
Right.
Tell them about Salah, why you pray, why you fast, why we go to Hajj, what is the good things about Islam. Let him hear something good about Islam he never heard before.
Yeah, exactly.
And stay away from criticizing him or insulting him, because how do you expect him to listen to you if you are attacking him?
Yeah, of course.
Definitely. This is the way of da'wah.
That's an excellent point.
Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ادعو إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة. When you are calling in the way of Allah, it should be with wisdom.
Right.
بالحكمة والموعظة, with good talk.
Right.
And then argue with them. وجادلهم with good thing, وجادلهم بالتي أحسن.
Right.
Not by harsh, not by bad words.
We'll push him away.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, excellent point.
Yes.
I want to ask, Brother Ayman, I know you're from North Carolina. Did you ever see someone, a non-Muslim, become Muslim? Or did you give dawah to somebody or talk about Islam with somebody and they actually became Muslim later?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really give a lot of dawah, to be honest, because I didn't want to be looked at funny.
Because you were a young man at that time, I'm imagining, right?
I was pretty young, but when I talked to some of my friends today,
right,
I talked to them about Islam and I tried to give them the basic concepts of Tawheed,
right,
because myself I don't have a lot of knowledge, right. So I was always taught if I don't have enough knowledge, just if you know Surah Ikhlas, you're able to give them dawah,
Yeah, excellent point. Just like Sheikh was saying, give them what you have and present it to them, let them, go. Okay, excellent point. Yeah. Sheikh, you traveled to many countries in your capacity as an airplane pilot. When you traveled to all these countries, were you involved in calling non-Muslims to Islam?
Alhamdulillah. Yes, alhamdulillah. Allah have guided me to this. That's about almost 25 years ago, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. It's because we travel, to many countries, and I always utilize being there, alhamdulillah. I go to masajid. I always take with me many pamphlets, many CDs, and alhamdulillah, I go to Islamic centers, and I gave this because the Islamic center, they know better than me to whom, because I use sometime in places I don't know where to go.
Yeah, of course.
So what I do, I just go ask about Islamic center, and I go to the Islamic center, I go to the Imam, and I introduce myself to him, and I gave him the pamphlets, I gave him the the CDs, some books,
right.
And sometimes, alhamdulillah, I give khutbah, I ask him to give me. Sometimes they arrange for me to have, lecture to non-Muslim in university, in the masjid, in some company, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So I really, it was a golden chance for me during flying, that I traveled to many countries.
Yeah.
So alhamdulillah, I utilized it for the sake of Allah.
Yeah, it seemed like a very unique opportunity. A lot of people want to give dawah, but they don't have the means to travel around. So you have both hand in hand. But you're still working in dawah, as we know now. You have the Islamic Education Foundation. Can you speak to us a little bit about what is that? Because I'm sure the viewers, even the studio audience, would like to know.
About the Islamic education?
Yeah, the Islamic Education Foundation.
Again, the Islamic education the purpose or the objective of the summit is what we talked before the first episode, is to convey the message to non-Muslim. Because, you know, in Saudi Arabia, we have a lot of non-Muslim and we have a lot of nationalities.
Okay.
And the percentage of the other nationalities in Saudi Arabia who are not Muslim more than Muslim. Believe it or not.
Believe it or not, there's so many guest workers.
Oh yes, we have Christian, we have atheists, we have Hindus,
Americans, Europeans, Australians.
Alhamdulillah. So that's why, you know, we opened this foundation, you know, 1992. Alhamdulillah.
Okay. We means you and
no, many group. When I say, I don't mean me, we. No, I don't mean myself. But alhamdulillah, with many brothers, but also with businessmen who help us financially. And we managed to open this center now for almost 20 years now. And alhamdulillah, we managed to convince more than 30,000 now become Muslim.
I mean, that's
30,000 from 24 nationalities.
Yeah, so that's, you know, about 20 years. That's amazing.
Alhamdulillah.
And how do the people come to you? They come from businesses and corporations that they want to learn. They come to you seeking knowledge about Islam.
Well, either they through, you know, nowadays through internet, of course, and through some, you know, materials, also through their colleagues who are working with them. You know that, if, for example, you know, if somebody, Allah opened his chest, you know, to Islam, and I repeat, as we go back, you know, to who guide. We only just do what our obligation. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He decided this person to be Muslim, He will open his chest and open his mind and open his ears.
I see.
You know. This guy, after he impressed Islam, then he go back to his work, then he, again, they will ask him, how you become Muslim? How come you left your religion? You know, you've been Christian, or you've been Jew, or you've been Hindu for almost 30, 40 years. How become you left your religion? Then he explained to them, and they come. Or sometimes he take pamphlets, and also sometimes we arrange, you know, some lectures, you know, in hospitals, in companies, in their, you know, housing complex. You know, this is the way, alhamdulillah. Now, of course, with CDs, alhamdulillah, with internet,
mobile phones, everything's working
through TV, like we're doing now.
Of course. But you made an excellent point. Like you said, Allah opens the heart. So that's what is meant by He will guide. But as far as you or any organization, we are just giving information. They can take it or leave it. So that's interesting. Sheikh, in your 30 years of traveling around and giving dawah, have you seen an increasing number of people accept Islam? Has it increased over the years?
Oh yes, alhamdulillah.
Why?
Alhamdulillah, Islam is spreading out now in America, in Europe, in Africa, in many places, alhamdulillah, because it is the true religion.
Alhamdulillah,
You know, because it's true religion, because it, you know, everything in Islam makes sense. You know, there is no mystery in Islam. There is no mystery. Everything we do, there is a reason. And because Islam is calling not to believe in people, like, you know, with my respect to Christianity, they consider Jesus is the, you know, He's the God. Or, you know, Buddha, they are worshipping, they're worshipping, you know what, a concrete. They're worshipping, you know, a big statue. And who made the statue? They made it in a factory, and then they are worshipping Him. How come I worship somebody, I made it myself? So is God, can be made by me?
Of course.
But you know, in Islam, no, we know God, alhamdulillah. He's in heaven, and we are respecting. And all, as I mentioned, all the verses around us prove that there is a creator.
Of course.
You know, if you look to the fingerprint.
There's so many.
This, you know, this is ayah also. Fingerprint is ayah, you know. From day one. From day one, Allah created Adam. Until the day of judgment, you will not find two persons identical in their fingerprint. Who has this power?
In the voice as well.
Who has this power?
That's right.
You know, you know, look at yourself. Allah said, don't you see in yourselves? Look at, you know, how we breathe, how the gift of vision, the gift of hearing, the gift of taste, the gift of the rain, the gift of the trees, the gift of the sun, the gift of the food. How many meat we can eat?
Of course.
How many vegetables we can eat? How many fruits we can eat? Who gave us this?
Of course.
You know, this is ayat. You know.
Excellent point.
This is everything around this proof there is a God.
And actually, this appeals to Westerners. I think you all in the studio audience agree. Although Christianity, we don't want to pick on them. We just want to make the point. They believe, for example, in the Trinity and things like that. But the Western people themselves don't accept this because they appeal to logic. So I think this is how Islam can come to them in a positive way. Which brings you to my question. The means to inviting people to Islam, does it change from culture to culture, nationality to nationality, or person to person? Or do you give people the same dawah, so to speak?
Well, that's a good question also. Yes, actually, as we have, you know, in Arabic, لِكُلِّ مَقَامٍ مَقَالٍ, you know, for certain person, you know, there is a certain speak or speaking talk.
Okay,
you know,
right.
with my respect, you know, when I'm talking to non-educated people, you know,
Okay.
of course, my approach and my way will be different when I'm talking to educated people.
Okay.
When I am actually calling people knew nothing about prophets, like, you know, the atheists,
Yeah.
like Hindus.
Yeah, of course.
See,
yeah.
when I speak to the people of the book, who are the Jews and the Christian, my approach is different. For instance, if I mention Adam, Noah, Ibrahim to Hindu, he doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because he never heard of them. When I'm talking to atheists, he doesn't know what to talk about. So you have to use the way, I mean, you have to really to be careful whom you're talking to.
Right.
So you're talking to Christian and Jew, this is the Bible book, they understand.
Right.
When you mention prophet, they understand.
Right.
And when you're talking to atheists, also don't mention Adam or Noah or prophet, because they don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Also for education, when you talk about, when I'm really approaching or giving a lecture to educated people,
Right.
like doctors, engineers, my approach is different.
Yeah, of course.
So I may use, you know, something, you know, all to do with material things and also science, you know,
Right.
scientific things.
Depends. If you're talking to
Yeah.
an atheist, you want to bring science.
Exactly.
If you're talking to a Christian, you can bring proofs from the prophets, things like that.
Yeah.
I see your point.
You have to really to know whom you're talking to.
Okay, this is very important. Yeah,
very
excellent
important.
point. Now, for example, the studio audience, we have one American in the back, one brother from Sierra Leone, 3 brothers from Nigeria, and 1 Egyptian. So my question is, they're all Muslims, but if you had a group like this that weren't Muslims, would it change your dawah approach? Change knowing, for example, Muhammad Garba is from Nigeria, Suleiman is from Nigeria, Ayman's from the United States, Ismail is from Sierra Leone. Does the culture play a role? Do you have to educate yourself a little bit?
Culture has nothing to do with it.
You don't want to educate yourself in the person's culture?
No. Culture, no, because I'm calling to Islam. I'm teaching Islam, so I'm not teaching culture now.
Okay, you're going to stay away from that.
Again, I go back. I will just make sure what type of education they are.
Okay.
You know, and also, are these people, if they are non-Muslim, I will make sure, you know, if this, you know, he is what, a Christian, or Jew, or atheist, or Buddhist. Now, if you know, some of them are Buddhists, I have to separate them. Because I say Buddhists don't understand nothing about prophets.
Okay, so you have to take a totally different approach.
Yes, of course. But you know, if they are the same religion, let's say they are all Christian.
For example, okay.
You know, I don't. Their nationality has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
It will not really affect my approach.
Yeah. Okay.
But if they are different religion,
right?
Okay, especially not the people of the book like Jews, as I mentioned before, I will give the same approach.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
And again, I have to make sure their education level.
Of course, this is the main point.
Yes, also
excellent.
education level.
Yeah,
yes.
excellent. I want to ask the studio audience, what group is most likely to accept Islam? Do you think a Jew, a Christian, an atheist, but who do you think is most likely to accept Islam? And do you think that plays a factor? Go ahead, brother.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I believe that the one group which is more likely to accept Islam is agnostics.
Really? Why?
Yes, because they are most of them are truth seekers, and they have no idea whatsoever. So when you guide them and you tell them the truth about Islam and the oneness of Islam and the uniqueness of Islam and the comprehensive image, they tend to
like
accept.
It.
Yes.
What do you think, Sheikh? Agnostic means just somebody, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, someone who believes in God, but they say, I don't know the means to God, but I believe there's a God. He said these people are very easy to catch into Islam.
I mean, I'll give you an example, you know, in our case, in our foundation, you know. You remember I mentioned that 30,000 people, you know, embrace Islam?
Yeah,
you know how many Filipino out of them?
How many?
So out of the 30,000, you know, 26,000 Filipino are, and only 4,000 other nationality.
Why do you think that?
And they are all Christian. You know, because
they all come back Catholics, yeah.
No, not Catholic, because Filipino are originally Muslim until 1521.
Yes, the Mindanao.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And until 1521, Philippine was 100% until, you know, invasion of Magellan,
yeah.
You know, the Spanish, and also then followed up by the Americans.
Yeah.
And so if you just invite or actually talk to a Filipino, he's now about 40 or 50 years old, you will find his grandmother or grandfather, you know, is Muslim.
Yeah.
Because they are originally Muslim.
Yeah.
So actually that's why, you know, in our case, you know, more than 24,000 Filipino out of the 30,000, they are actually Filipino.
Yeah.
You know. So I would say usually the people who are atheists completely, you know, they don't believe in religion. And I can assure you there is many villages in Africa, you know, they don't believe in anything. Right. They become Muslim in group. Okay. You know, one our brothers who really, he was actually all his life almost, I would say, he's been in Africa. he told me that, you know, sometime the whole village, you know, maybe 5,000 become Muslim.
Oh, that's
yeah, because they don't believe anything.
You know, that's an excellent point. I want to ask the brothers, we're going to go to a short break. I want to ask you guys about that. I know in Africa there's Muslims and Christians, but do they still have people, big tribes of people that are practice the indigenous religion, I guess, so to speak? But stay tuned. We'll talk about that after the break. You guys stay tuned for more with Sheikh Hamoud on Let's Talk.
Fun for everyone.
3, 2, 1.
What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up?
The firefighter uses what to control fire? Water or rocks? Now these two teams go head to head on pulling the blue rope. Now if one person goes over this line right here, the other team loses. Very simple rules. This challenge is worth 5 points.
What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up? What will I be when I grow up as a Muslim man?
Fun is for everyone, so get ready to have some fun. Check out these cool competitions between kids. It's important to have fun, and it's also important to be a good sport. So tune in to Fun for Everyone. You don't want to miss it.
When I grow up, what will I be when I grow up as a Muslim man?
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Let's Talk. We're having a very interesting episode about the dawah around the world, or worldwide dawah. And of course, we brought with us Sheikh Hamoud, who has spent over 30 years, that's 3 decades, giving dawah in his capacity as the founder of the Islamic Education Foundation, as well as being an airplane pilot, which has taken him all around the world. So of course, this is a perfect golden opportunity to preach Islam to the people from all around the world. Sheikh Hamoud, thank you for staying with us.
Thank you.
And I think it's a great unique, you've let your work become dawah at the same time, and it's a unique experience to say the least. So really thank you for being with us. In this final segment, Sheikh Hamoud, I would like to include our studio audience. They have a lot of questions for you. So why don't you go ahead, brother, and ask Sheikh Hamoud any question you have directly.
Sure.
Assalamu alaikum. I haven't really given dawah that much, because when I was young, I started learning in Nigeria, in my country. You start learning first before you have the capacity to do anything. I think I encountered 2 problems when I started. First of all, it's like the misconceptions in most of these things. When you meet people, they already have this kind of feeling, like, for example, the most feeling I see people say is, everyone is doing it, so why do you think it's wrong?
Exactly right.
That's a very big problem, I think. So how do you approach this type of people? Personally, I call it ignorance, but I don't say it out to them. But personally, I just believe they're uneducated and they just need someone to guide them. And secondly is when you meet the wrong group of people to receive dawah from. I'll take myself as an example. I asked Garba this question some time ago. When I was young, astaghfirullah, I hated Aisha radiallahu anha.
Oh.
I see, I understand.
Because you had misinformation.
Yes, I had my information from a particular group of people. Not just them. Not just them. Going from them to other places. So in my locality then, most of the people, that's what they were saying. Until my dad sent me to an Islamic school. I had a different... Sometimes I fought with my mates. Because why are you telling me the wrong thing? This is what I learned and all.
Yeah, right, of course.
That was when I was young. It was etched in me. It was in me already. Then gradually, I came to Egypt and learned other things. Most people have this problem too. They feel, this is what I learned, so why are you telling me it's different? I have, like you said, the ayat, I have my proofs and other things. So this type of people, will you say they are not guided by Allah, or will you say if, for example, they follow what they learn from people, what's going to happen from there?
That's the question.
Jazakallah khair. Okay, thank you very much for the question, brother. Well, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said 1400 years ago, he said, you know, "Man ya'ish minkum yara ikhtilafan kathira." Who gonna live, you will see many different and many sects. Rasulullah sallam also said, you know, that the Jews will be, you know, separated to almost 70, you know, 71 group, and the Christian will be 72 group sects. And my nation, he said, will be separated into 73. And he said, only one will be the right and the righteous, and only one, actually. They said, who are they? He said, those the one who just follow like me and my companions. So mentioning the one you said you used to be, when you were young, you used to hate Aisha because you have run into a group who actually, what you call them, the Shia, because they believe, fortunately, that Aisha have committed adultery. And in the story of Aisha, because one day was Rasulullah traveling, and all the companions have left the area where there is, and Aisha, she lost her necklace. So she kept looking for her necklace, and then everybody's gone, even including Rasulullah. So she found herself alone, so she just slept. And another one of the companions, he came and he found Aisha, and when he saw her, he said, Astaghfirullah, la hawla wa quwwata illa billah. And then she heard his voice. So he just asked her to ride his camel, and he took her all the way to Medina. And she said, this guy never talked to me, never even looked at me. He was actually in the front of me, I was riding the camel. When he entered Medina, the hypocrites, they make this rumor about Aisha. They said, oh, look at this man, And the Shia, unfortunately, until this moment, they believe, that Aisha. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed a surah, Surah An-Nur, about clearing Aisha, and He cleared to us that she was innocent from what they are claiming she did, But, I'll go back to what you say, misconception. My brothers, all of you may run into people throw some conception like, why you have 4 wives, why you are chopping the head of the one who killed, why you chopping his hand, why you don't drink alcohol, why don't eat swine meat, why don't you drink, why don't you gamble? You have to be, brother, I advise you have to be really knowledgeable to answer. I will just give you an example for one conception, because the time is running short. But if they ask you why you have 4 wives, you have to tell them that it is not obligatory or compulsory on the Muslim to have 4 wives. This is a waiver given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in cases, that let's say that you are married to, a woman, and she's a very charming lady and she loves you, but she cannot have babies. So in Islam said, okay, keep her with you because she was innocent. It is not her fault. So then you have the right to look for another wife. She have baby and you have a second wife, right? Many reasons. Maybe that she actually sick. She was happy and suddenly she becomes sick. Doctor told you no more sexual intercourse with your wife. She cannot have it anymore because of her disease or because sick. Now what shall you do? Shall you go and commit adultery or have girlfriends or have maids? Islam said, no, take a second wife. There are many reasons. The time does not permit me. I'm just giving an example. And that's why. But in the same time, if you are not capable, and if you are not willing to be just, to be even, with the two, you cannot marry in Islam. You have to be just and have to be even. So actually, 4 wives is not just an order. It's not a command. It's not a compulsory. It is not obligatory. No, it is actually given to you. But you could tell them, also you can tell them, well, I may have 4 wives, legitimate wife. What about you guys? You have 1 wife, you have 20 mates.
Yeah, they all practice polygamy anyways, they just don't marry them.
Sorry?
They practice polygamy themselves, polygamy, they just don't marry them.
Yeah, but in legal way.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So there is many reasons. Alhamdulillah, Allah gave us, this is an example, brother, for alcoholic, Allah have gave us all kinds of fresh juices. In our country, we have many bars, but not for alcoholic. For fresh juices. You can have, orange juice, you have apple juice, banana juice, milkshake, which is benefit for your health, not the one who make you intoxicated and damage your brain. So alhamdulillah, Allah have taken the swine meat. Allah have forbidden swine meat on us, but He gave us how many meat we can eat.
Of course, there's so many things
you can eat bird, you can eat gazelle, you can eat camels, you can eat goats. Alhamdulillah, Allah. Yes, anything forbidden in Islam, if it was good for us, Allah wouldn't have forbidden it. So like swine meat, you can ask the doctor how bad it is.
Yeah, of course.
It has disease. And for your information, the pig is the only animal who really eats his leftovers.
He eats people too.
Yeah?
It will eat people
he eats leftovers.
Yeah.
And after he really
goes to the bathroom,
he go back and he eats his leftovers.
Yes.
Now, how can I eat an animal like that?
Yeah, it will eat people too.
Just for information, Allah will not forbidden anything if it's benefit for us. No. This is just an example for you.
Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you.
Sure.
I believe Hosam also had a question. Thank you, brother, for your question. I believe you also had a question you wanted to ask the Sheikh.
Actually, I have a comment and I have a question.
Excellent. Go ahead.
As for da'wah itself and the way to give the best manner to give da'wah, I believe in this context we have to mention the fact that actions speak louder than words and deeds speak louder than words. So it's the number one aspect of Islam that attracts the non-Muslims to Islam is how Muslims behave and how the Muslims deal with non-Muslims.
And it will push them away, won't it, if it's bad? So we have to be good. We have to be good, inshallah, yeah.
And they have a prominent example in Asia and in Malaysia. They accepted Islam due to how merchants dealt with them and how honest and how trustworthy they were with them. So they intrigued them and they made them wonder what code of ethics that you follow.
What he's mentioning, brother, he's talking about the Sahaba who went, a long time ago to the east, to many countries.
Indonesia, I think
they went. No, they went for business. They went for business. They didn't go for da'wah. But as a brother said, because of their, attitude, because of their manners, because they don't lie, they don't cheat. So the people who met them there in their country said, what kind of people are you? How come you don't cheat? How come you don't lie? How come you don't, how come? And they looked at how they pray. And so you're right. You have, good example, is very important. You should not contradict what you say with what you do. And this is what you call كبر مقتا عند الله أن تقولوا ما لا تفعلون. It is a big sin in the sight of Allah that you say what you don't do, or you do what you don't say.
Americans say, practice what you preach, right? That's what we mean.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is very important that a Muslim should be. And I agree with my brother. Unfortunately, I have to be, honest, and I have to be frank. That there are some Muslims who are giving really wrong impression.
Yes.
They are giving wrong image about Islam.
Yeah.
And I want really to seize the chance to the viewers and to our brother that never, ever really judge Islam through people. It's opposite. You should really judge, people through Islam. If the people are good, because of Islam. But if the people are bad, Islam is innocent completely from them. And I understand there are many Muslims in some country, in Europe, in America, in even some Arab country, they are really completely away from Islam, and they are not really like terrorists. They don't represent Islam. They know Islam is against that.
Yeah, of course.
This is, it's true. We cannot deny, we cannot really run away from the fact this is true. There are some Muslims giving wrong image about Islam. But this is their fault. It's not Islam's fault.
You can't paint the picture.
You don't blame Islam for that.
But that was your comment. Do you have a question as well?
Yes, actually, I have many questions in mind, and the most
important one question. Because we give the chance to other people.
Yes, I see. To what extent, out of your experience, do you think women have a responsibility in giving da'wah as well?
Oh, mashallah.
Because many non-Muslims believe that we Muslims marginalize women and they have nothing to do in social life. And
right. Good point.
Very good point. If you go back to the verse I mentioned, in the other episode about, verse 104 in Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ, He didn't say male only. So it includes male and female.
Okay.
So absolutely, women have the obligation and they have the responsibility to convey message. Allah did not disclude. They are included.
Because they have to give da'wah to other females, whereas a man can't give da'wah
Yes, of course. And it's going on. And in our center, alhamdulillah. For example, I'll give you a live example. In our center, we have divisions. We have the men division and the women division.
Naturally,
alhamdulillah, our sister, they're coming, 5 times a week. In that division. And they are volunteers, by the way, no money. They just volunteer. And alhamdulillah, they managed to convince more than about 5,000 women to Islam. And they're teaching them. And every Monday and Sunday and Thursday and Friday, there are sisters who become new Muslim. They're coming to our center to learn, to educate themselves in Islam. They exceed more than 350 women. We have about 12 classes for them.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah.
So you're right, very good question.
So they do have an obligation to
I'm very glad the brother asked it, because I want our sisters, the Muslim who are, they will see us now, they have to realize their obligation towards this. The women should not say, the obligation of da'wah for the men. No, even you, sister, you must do your job to convey the message.
Thank you.
Jazakallah khair.
Thank you very much, Sheikh. Go ahead, brother, in the back. Either one. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum, brother.
My question is actually is about spreading Islam in Africa. If I could still remember, Islam came to Africa before Christianity. That was back in the last 1800s. That's right. And the beginning of the 1900s. But now you find many countries in Africa, they are dominated by Christianity. The problem is actually the Muslims who come to the Arab world, for example, to seek knowledge and to go to spread the message of Allah. They don't have the means of spreading the message. For example, we have too many scholars in Africa who built schools, and they stand to sponsor these schools without having a support.
Right.
So this is the problem actually in Africa. So I'm asking the Sheikh to indicate to us the means, to spread Islam if you don't have the support of any, like some other organizations like the Catholic and like the Neo Protestant and so on and so forth. So how do we spread message when we don't have the means?
Good, excellent question. Thank you, brother.
Jazakallah khair. My brother, I want you to know that the most wealthy country in the whole world is the Vatican. Okay, though Islam spreading out all over the world.
SubhanAllah.
So it's not a matter of money.
Right.
It's not a matter of support. With my, I'm not, again, criticizing. They have the right to do what they do, because they believe, that their religion is the true religion. So this is their discretion.
Okay.
But I just, even though they are receiving millions of dollars, and the Vatican is spreading this millions of dollars all over the world for preaching and for missionaries.
But it's in the hands of Allah.
And though they failed,
right.
To convince many people in Indonesia, in Bangladesh, in Africa.
Right.
They failed, because the Islam is the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and because it's very easy to be understood. Because no mystery. So I agree with you that we need support to buy books. But even if you don't have, see, in our case, we don't have any, we are not receiving that much support from, government. But we are supported by, certain people, the people who are businessmen,
That's the most important
the people
point.
who care for da'wah, alhamdulillah, and we manage to continue. But what we need as a da'iyah, sincerity.
That's the main point. Sheikh, I have to stop you there. I apologize at the end of the episode. I apologize. We'll have to come back and continue with this subject, inshallah. Of course, you have an open invitation always on Let's Talk, and we appreciate having you, and we're honored to have you. And I want to thank the brothers. Thank you guys. I'm sorry we didn't get all your questions. I want you guys to come back as well for another episode of Let's Talk, and we will address this subject, inshallah. And before we go anywhere, I want to read a couple emails, because we received a lot of positive feedback with the last episodes we did with Sheikh Hamoud, trip with the pilot on the ground. Just give me 1 minute here, you guys. We have an email from, let's see here, we have a whole bunch. Ahmed from Nigeria, he says, I enjoyed your series with Captain Hamoud. This is the second time I'm watching the program, and I believe it will go a long way, encouraging Muslim brothers to take aviation as a career. Wa alaikum salam. We also have Farouk from Algeria. I very much enjoyed your show with Captain Hamoud. He shared a lot of interesting information about flight, travel, and flying an airplane. I just wanted you to know that live on the show now, that we had a lot of positive feedback.
Well, I'm very happy, alhamdulillah. I made the aviation easy, and nobody's scared anymore. No.
Okay, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you again, inshallah. Thank you. You guys, thank you very much for watching Let's Talk. I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same channel. You know what time it is. It's time for Let's Talk every Wednesday, 11 p.m. Mecca time. So I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're treading seems all uphill, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're treading seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the dips are high, and you want to smile but have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the